Good evening. My name is Paris Wisemon, and when I was a little girl, I had no care in the world. Not once did I ever have a negative thought about the size of my body or what I looked like, and I certainly didn't care what people thought about me. All I cared about was playing with my toys, watching my favorite cartoons, and having fun being a kid. It wasn't until I hit the age of around 10 years old that I slowly started to find myself focusing more and more on my appearance, thus leading me to become more insecure about the things about my body that made me different than other girls my age. Looking back on it now, 10 years old seems like such a terribly young age to have those feelings. But shockingly enough, according to a survey conducted by Yahoo Health Studies, 10 years old is a relatively common point at which insecurities start to harvest in young women. What this survey also highlighted was that the younger the generation age bracket, the earlier the body dissatisfaction began. The fact that my generation is experiencing these body image issues from such a young age has a lot to do with the media we consume on a daily basis. Apps such as Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube are some of the world's most popular social media platforms. Combined, they amass millions of users on a daily basis. For a lot of kids my age, social media is the first thing we see in the morning and the last thing we see when we go to bed at night. According to the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry, teens spend an average of 9 hours a day on their phones. Something that takes up that much time of your day is bound to have some sort of impact on you, whether that be positive or negative. While the technological advancements we have achieved as a society throughout the years can understandably seem like a good thing in terms of faster communication, efficient public outreach, social networking, and even education, it is important to also recognize the dark side of social media. With social media being such an undeniably powerful tool in today's society, it is its power that gives it the ability to play such a fundamental role in promoting the beauty standards that users all over the globe are fighting to achieve. When we talk about beauty standards, it is important to recognize that they are constantly changing with time. As time moves forward, the world as we know it changes, and so does the view on the ideal body type for women. For example, in the 1920s, women started to leave behind their corsets and embrace more of a curveless, boyish figure. They wore bras that flattened their chests and even started to cut their hair. Then, in the 1950s, having a soft hourglass figure was the goal. This meant having a smaller waist and larger hips. Many weight gain supplements were advertised towards thin women to become more curvy. In the 1980s, it was known as the supermodel era, so being tall, slender, and having long legs was desirable. And then in the 1990s, an aesthetic known as heroin chic was on the rise. This look suggested that being extremely frail to the point where your bones were protruding from your body was what women should look like. As you can see, body goals have changed a multitude of times throughout the decades and will continue to do so forever. Even before social media was around, society sent a crystal clear message on what the perfect body was. And this could be seen through movies, billboards, and even the magazines in the checkout aisle of the grocery store. Now we have social media, which as of 2022 is being used by 3.96 billion users. That is more than half of the world's population. As the amount of users around the globe continues to rise, so does the power of social media. Content creators can amass millions of followers across several different platforms. This gives them the ability to play a huge role in influencing body goals because whatever they do can start trends, especially if their audience is predominantly impressionable teens. In recent years, the aesthetic known as slim thick has been on the rise. This means having a small waist, flat stomach, along with a large behind. When influencers and celebrities began to progress into this look, their fan bases, which were predominantly young women, followed suit, wanting to look just like them. Subsequently, in recent years, cosmetic procedures, including the Brazilian butt lift, have been on the rise. According to a survey conducted by the International Society of Aesthetic Plastic Surgery, the amount of BBL surgeries performed since 2015 has risen by nearly 77.6%. It is important to note that a lot of the young women that were getting these surgeries were going out of the country to receive their surgeries for a less expensive price, and as a result, they suffered severe post-surgery consequences. As every surgery comes with its own risks and casualties, BBLs are no exception, as they have a high mortality rate due to the fact that if a complication does occur during the surgery, a direct line to your heart can be damaged. While wealthy influencers have the means to afford safe and quality cosmetic care, average income individuals that maybe can't afford the same services are left with the dilemma of being pressured by society to make permanent changes to their bodies, even at the cost of their own health and well-being. You might be asking yourself, why do women do this? Why do we put ourselves through so much pain in order to be adjacent to the beauty standard? To that, I will say this. We live in a society where we are constantly pressured to feel validated online and even in real life. We want to feel pretty because we are shown through real life experiences and through the media that it'll make us more desirable and liked. We are not born wanting to get life-threatening cosmetic procedures like BBLs. It is the content we consume through the media, along with the likes, followers, and views, that makes it so much easier for you to start comparing yourselves to others, which leads to that insecurity developing. On social media and in real life, our appearance is very important. It is because of this why what we look like can dictate not only how we are treated, but also whether or not we receive respect. As a result, people all across the world are constantly chasing the standard of beauty that is ever changing. The media is constantly advertising products that will help fix us, whether that be through skincare products, weight loss fads, and even simply a get abs in 2 weeks workout video. It is because of these things why people are more inclined to subscribe to the belief that there is something wrong with them and they must do something to fix their flaws. When I was younger, I had no idea that there was something wrong with having cellulite or stretch marks. It wasn't until I saw YouTube videos about how to get it removed that I then realized that it was an insecurity that many women had, and soon enough, it became one of my own. Social media has helped to further create an entire generation of people who are constantly wanting what they don't have. Although people have always compared themselves to others, when we are scrolling hours and hours a day, it becomes so much easier to get wrapped into this toxic cycle of self-comparison. When we get trapped into this mindset, what we are really doing is comparing our struggles behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. Most of what social media stars choose to post online is an over-glamorized, highly edited, highly filtered snippet of reality, with features like filters, Photoshop, and video editing, allowing creators to edit their bodies and pictures and even videos. It almost warps our perception of what a real body actually looks like, thus leading many to believe in this false reality. We put these social media stars on such a pedestal that sometimes we forget that they too have bad days. They, just like all of us regular people, have days where they feel insecure. And if you really think about it, they might even deal with these issues on a much larger scale, because sometimes their entire career is centered upon their appearance. Many models, actresses, and influencers and celebrities that have been praised and highly sought after for their looks have come forward and revealed their struggles with body dysmorphia, eating disorders, cosmetic surgery. Yet, mind you, these are the same celebrities that we are idolizing for their appearance. And on the topic of filters, now we have augmented reality filters, which erase almost all of your flaws, ultimately altering your appearance completely. These beauty standards promoted on the internet are often based on a more Eurocentric standard of beauty. You see, from my experience with filters, they tend to lighten my skin, give me bigger eyes, and even slender my nose. Essentially, most AR filters erase my ethnic features, except for small things here and there, to give me more of an exotic or racially ambiguous look. This is very disheartening for me as a young Black woman, because featureism and colorism are two very prominent issues that have wreaked havoc amongst my community for years. The premise of these issues are simple. Because racism exists, people of color having features resembling closer to whiteness are going to be considered more attractive than those who do not. So not only are BIPOC women who fall on the disadvantaged end of the spectrum not accepted in their own communities, but also when we try to escape to platforms like social media. This has a very negative effect on those of us who grow up never feeling represented in what is considered beautiful. Oftentimes, when we don't feel beautiful, we will go through extreme lengths to obtain that beauty, even if it looks different than what is found in our native culture. All around the world, darker complexioned women seek chemical remedies to lighten their skin. The skin bleaching industry is worth $8.6 billion, and $2.3 billion of that was spent in the US alone as of 2020. This industry is projected to reach $12.3 billion by 2027. So not only are the standards people are comparing themselves to unrealistic, they are also often rooted in racism. If I were to ever utter something negative about myself, whether it be about my body or perception of myself, my father would always ask me, "Who told you that?" I would always think it was such a silly question. I don't know, I guess I told myself. Looking back on it now, just those 4 words have allowed me to open my eyes to the fact that a lot of the insecurities that we have about ourselves do not originate from within, but rather from the opinions of others. Hurt people. And when people are shamed for things that make us less than perfect, that pain is internalized and trickles down from generation to generation. And this dilemma has only increased with the rise of social media. My challenge for all of you sitting in the audience today is to look within yourself and find true happiness that is not centered upon your appearance. There is so much beauty inside each and every one of us. Our character, our spirit, who we are as people, that's beautiful. Stop comparing yourselves to others and understand that what you see online is really only a small portion of reality, and comparison is the thief of joy. The first step to expanding how we define beauty is to first recognize and address the problem. Next, we must rebuke the harmful messages portrayed in the media. And lastly, we must redefine what beauty means to all of us by advocating for more representation of people who do not fit within the narrow beauty standards society has upheld. Thank you.